Okay, that's great. It seems like the people that you have shared in the links with have already joined. And at the same time, I would like to welcome Sumit into the masterclass. Welcome to the masterclass, Sumit. I would now be requesting you to take on the session from here. So I'll be handling it over to you now.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Um, just give me a second. Okay. I hope I'm audible to everyone and my screen is visible to everyone. Great, great, great. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to first of all talk about the evolution of Chat GPT and how a chatbot became a Chat GPT. We will also try to understand various uh, terms that are very much popular in the industry today, which is agentic AI, AI agent, multi-agentic systems, and AI workflow, AI automation. So we will talk about all these terms, LLMs, and then finally we will understand the um, various job opportunities that are there for us as a working professional. So let's start with the understanding about how a chatbot used to function. So if we think about year 2018 or before that, let's call it as 2015, this was a time when chatbots were very much popular, very much popular in the industry. And you would have seen that every other website or every other company, they were implementing chatbot in their website or in their application. How these chatbots were actually functioning. So if I look at the example of a banking website, so let's say this is a website of a bank. Let's call it as HDFC Bank. So this is the HDFC Bank website. Now, you would see that in this website, you will see a pop-up on the lower right side, which is basically the chatbot. So this is the chatbot, right? Now, if if you ask this particular chatbot a question, let's say your query is basically how to open a savings bank account. So when you put a query on this particular chatbot, which is available in the HDFC Bank website, this particular chatbot will take your query and will go inside the database in which it has been trained on. So in this database, let's call it as FAQ database. In this database, there will be n number of questions and their respective answers. Questions, answers, questions, answer, and so on. Questions, answer. So in this FAQ database, which HDFC Bank would have maintained for a for a long time, so let's call it as database of frequently asked question maintained by the HDFC Bank. So in this particular database, what this chatbot will do, the chatbot will take your query and will try to find out the closest match of your query with the questions that are available in the FAQ database. So what it will perform is known as the similarity matching. Similarity matching. And similarity matching is basically a process of finding out the similar question or basically a similar word to the query that you have provided. So it is not performing the semantic search. There is a difference between the similarity search and the semantic search. One is known as keyword matching or keyword search. In this process, what we do, we try to search for the words in the list of word. So let's say if the word is savings, the chatbot will search for which particular question over here consists of the word saving. So it will go in each of the question and the answer set that is available in the database, and it will simply perform the keyword search. So is the saving keyword available in this question? Is the saving keyword available in this question? Is the saving keyword available in this question? And so on. And let's say it was able to find out that the word saving and the bank and the open and the account. So these words, open, saving, bank, account, all these words are available in this question. So what it will do, it will take the corresponding answer and will return to you as the answer to your query. So what it is performing is known as a keyword matching, where it is not looking at the meaning sentence. It is just trying to find out the similar or the closest question that is similar to your query. And how the similarity is defined now, the keyword matching. There is something also known as the semantic matching, semantic search. Now in the semantic search, we try to find out the to the meaning. So if I say apple, now apple is a fruit, so it will try to find out those words which are similar to this particular word, also similar to the meaning of the word. So right now, or in the year 2015, chatbots were able to answer your queries by performing keyword matching. They were not looking at the meaning, the semantic meaning of the questions that you are providing. So what happened? in year 2017, scientists thought that is it possible to get this particular chat bot become a generalized chatbot. Now, what is the meaning of generalized chatbot? As of now, this particular chatbot is limited to a domain and a limited set of knowledge base, right? I cannot use this chatbot to ask questions related to any other company or any other industry. So this chatbot, which is running on the HDFC Bank website, is limited to one domain and company, and it is not general chatbot, which basically mean if you ask this chatbot a query, let's say, who is the first PM of India? Now, when you provide this query to this chatbot will simply not be able to answer this query. Why? Because this chatbot is not a generalized chatbot. This chatbot is limited to a company and it has been trained on the limited set of knowledge. So in 2017, scientists started thinking that can they somehow make a chatbot become a generalized chatbot? But there was a problem. The problem was if I want to make a generalized chatbot, a chatbot which is not limited to a domain or a knowledge base. So generalized chatbot basically means a chatbot not limited to a domain or a knowledge base. The problem was that if they want to make this a generalized chatbot, they need to provide this chatbot with the knowledge of every possible topic in this entire world, which basically means they need to train this chatbot using the internet data. Internet data. And looking for methods to train a chatbot on a internet data. Internet data, why internet data? Because they want to come up with a generalized chatbot which is not limited to a domain. They wanted to bring a chatbot which is able to answer your questions from any domain and from any particular sector, which basically mean the chatbot which they were trying to bring should be able to have information about everything, and there is only one such resource which can help you with this kind of data, which is the internet data. So if I make someone learn or memorize the entire internet data, that particular person would actually be able to answer any of my question, right? Because internet has answer to every question. So that was the thought process which they wanted to implement. But there was a very big problem. The problem was how? Because if they want to train a machine, because chatbot is a machine, right? This is a mathematical machine. So if they want to train a machine on such a huge data, they need some kind of mechanism, the training mechanism. So the problem was there was no training mechanism that can facilitate this learning process. And that is where in 2017, there was a person whose name was um, Ashish Vaswani. This person wrote a paper which was named as attention, all you need. And this paper actually helped the entire scientist industry or everyone who was trying to solve this problem with the answer. So this paper introduced the mechanism that they were looking for to facilitate this learning process. So this paper introduced two concepts. One was the attention mechanism, and second was the transformers. So these were the two techniques which helped OpenAI, which helped Gemini and every other company to start training their generalized chat model. So using this particular ideation, which was proposed by Ashish Vaswani, OpenAI and Google, they both simultaneously started implementing this paper. OpenAI was able to first implement this paper, and they were able to launch their official chat model, which they named as Chat GPT in, I think, 22nd November 2021. So that was basically the uh, date on which they were able to launch this kind of chat model, which is able to answer all your general question. So if you look at this chat GPT, which we use today and which was launched at that time, chat GPT is based on a technology which is known as LLM. LLM stands for large language model. And large language model are those chat models which are basically trained on huge amount of internet data. And how they have been trained on? With the mechanism that was proposed by Ashish Vaswani. So LLMs are those chat models which are trained on humongous amount of internet data, and they are generalized chat model, which basically means they are not limited to a domain. They can answer any of your general question. And how they are able to answer? By using semantic search. So they are not just doing the keyword matching. They are trying to understand your question and trying to answer your question based on the semantic meaning, semantic search. So this is the basically evolution of how chatbot became chat GPT. But chat GPT, when it was launched, it was basically a dumb model. And the reason it was dumb model is because it was not able to answer your questions efficiently. So there were some problems. The problems were that it was just a artificial memory which was able to answer your questions by simply doing the prediction. This is how it was working. Basically, if you ask ChatGPT to write a story about Indian boy named Ram. So when you provide this prompt to your LLM, initially what these LLMs were doing, they were predicting the keyword, the next keyword. So based on this context, what is the first word that will come? So whenever a human writes a story always starts with the letter or the word once. So the first word would be once. Just give me 1 minute. I hope I'm audible. I lost the connection. I hope my screen is visible now. Can you guys please confirm? Okay. So I was talking about the process, how LLM predicts. So when ChatGPT initially launched their first model, which was GPT-3, so their first model was GPT-3. So when they launched their first model, GPT-3, that was a very basic model, and that was essentially a dumb model. And the reason I'm calling it as a dumb model is because it was not able to understand the process of which is known as reasoning. It was not able to reason. And I'll tell you what is the meaning of reasoning. So if I say write a story about Indian boy Ram, LLM will predict the first word, which is also known as a token. It will take this context, the first word and the context, and it will generate the next word. So which will be once upon. Then I will again provide this LLM with the context, the first word, the second word, and it will generate the third word once, then upon, then and this is how it will keep on generating until it has generated semantic sentence, a sentence which actually makes some sense. That is what initially this LLM was doing. It was not able to reason. It was only able to predict the next token. The major problem was it was not able to reason. It was not able to reason and limited to a knowledge cutoff. What is the meaning of knowledge cutoff? Knowledge cutoff means this particular model was trained on the internet data till a particular date. So for example, ChatGPT 4 was trained on the data till 2022. So it was not trained on the humongous, like it was not getting updated every day. So it was not able to get you real-time answers. Let me show you something. If I go, so there is a website known as Chat GPT Playground. I think GPT Playground, or I think OpenAI Playground, not OpenAI Playground. Yeah, this one. So from this particular website, it is taking time. So this is the website. Now here you can see that I have the model I have selected is 4.1. Let me select a older model. The oldest model is 3.5 Turbo. Let's use this model. And now what I'll do, I'll write a question over here. Question is, can you subtract 10 from 100? Now what is the answer to this question? How many times can you subtract 10 from 100? You can subtract 10 from 100 9 times. So the answer is 9. Is it the right answer, guys? Is it a right answer? Guys, what do you think? Is it the right answer? You can subtract 10 from 100 only one time, because next time when you subtract, it is subtracting from 90, not from 100. Let me open the same website again, OpenAI Playground. And this time I will use the latest model. So here I will try 5 chat latest, this one. Let me ask the same question now. How many times can you subtract 10 from 100? You can see it is asking once. After you subtracting, it is no longer 100. Can you see it is able to answer this question correctly? So this one is the latest model, GPT-5, and this one is the oldest model, GPT-3.5. So I hope now you guys are able to understand what I mean by being a dumb model, right? So this model, which was the latest model, was basically a very simple text generation model. It was generating the text based on what it has already generated, and there was a knowledge cutoff. Let me ask this question from GPT 3.5. Who is the current PM of India? And it will tell you the answer based on what it has been trained on. The current Prime Minister of India is Narendra Modi. Are you sure? I'm using 3.5 turbo, right? Okay. Till what date are you trained on? Okay. Who is the current CM of Bihar? as of 2025. So here you can see I'm unable to provide real-time information as my training data is up to date only until 2021, right? Let me answer the same question to ChatGPT 5.1. Here you can see it is able to answer me Nitish Kumar. So basically, I hope you are able to understand that these were the two problems. It was not able to reason the initial model which was generated by ChatGPT 3, and it was limited to certain knowledge cutoff. And that is what ChatGPT tried progressing. So over the year from 2021 to 2025, they tried to solve this problem. So now the model which we use, ChatGPT 5, it is not just a word prediction model. This model is not just a word prediction model. It is basically a model that can reason matlab it can basically plan. So if I ask you, prepare me a cup of tea, how you will plan internally in your mind? So you will first of all think, to prepare the tea, you need these ingredients. Then you need to put, you need a container where you can put water. Then you need to put, uh, let's say, tea leaves into it. Progress. Just give me a second, guys. Right? So basically, when I ask you a question, you are able to plan and you are able to think logically. That was the kind of capability which was given to ChatGPT. It was able to reason, it was able to plan and then execute. Second, it was connected with the functionality of internet search. Third, it was given with the power of multimodality. What is the meaning of multimodality? Multimodality basically means it can basically not, it can not only generate text, but can also generate images, audio, video. So as of now, ChatGPT is limited to generating text and images. But if I talk about Gemini, the latest model of Gemini, it is able to generate image, audio, and video also, right? So I hope you guys are able to understand the entire evolution of how a chatbot became ChatGPT, which became the AI as we use today. So the reason I'm calling the LLM, which we use today, as AI, because this LLM, which we use today, is not limited to just the word prediction. It can understand your question, it can plan, and it can control. Now, what is the meaning of agentic AI? Because we have understood AI. AI basically is that sophisticated model which has got the capabilities of human thinking. And then it is able to also generate not only just the text, but also images, also videos, also audio. So that is what the AI which we use today. But this AI is basically artificial brain today. Now, if I ask this artificial brain, which is the LLM, plan and book me a 5-day trip to, or let's keep it very simple. Question is, find and book the cheapest flight from Delhi to Bangalore. Now, I hope you guys will acknowledge that ChatGPT or the LLM that we use today can find the cheapest flight for us, right? Yes or no, everyone? The LLM can definitely do the step number one. It can find the cheapest flight because LLM that we use today is now connected with internet search. So it can do this task for me. But the question is, can it book? Can it also book? It cannot, right? Because it don't have the access. But what if I provide the access? So what if I provide or connect this particular LLM with, let's say, the booking.com? What if I connect this particular LLM with, let's say, my Amazon Pay account? Amazon Pay account. What if I connect this particular LLM with my Google Calendar? Google Calendar. So this is what agent is. These are what the agents are. This is an agent. This is an agent. This is an agent. These are basically the tools which are co-working with the artificial brain to execute end-to-end task. This is what is agent. So agent is basically a particular brain which is also given with some access of the tool to co-work and execute your end-to-end task. And that is what is happening today. But today, what we use is known as agentic AI. Agentic AI is that particular framework which involves multiple agents working together. So let's say I have a particular LLM, and this LLM is connected with internet also. This LLM is connected with the weather API, weather data or weather tool also. This is connected with a calculator also. This is connected with a let's say um, flight search also. This is connected with booking.com also. And then if you provide this LLM with a question that plan and book me 5-day trip to Bali, I hope you guys will acknowledge that now this LLM, being the artificial brain and has the access of all these tools, can co-work and can get your entire task, which is the goal. This is the goal of the LLM done, right? This entire framework is known as agentic AI. And if I involve multiple agents working together, that is known as the multi-agent systems. So if I have another LLM with another set of tools, another LLM with another set of tools, and there is one master LLM who is controlling all these, then this framework is known as multi-agentic system. So I hope now you guys are able to understand a little bit that how industry started using chatbots. They evolved it to chat GPT. They evolved it to AI. They connected it with a tool to make agentic AI, or I would say AI agent, AI agent, AI agent. Then they connected multiple agents to create agentic AI framework. And that is what we use today. Now, if you connect multiple agentic AI, we have multi-agent systems. So I hope you guys are able to understand that how the entire industry has progressed and evolved. But so let's understand the job market now. Just give me 1 minute, guys. Now, the entire job market is divided into two segments. One is the user, one is the developer. And developer are no code developer and code developer. Now, what are the users? Users are those people who are using AI to optimize their task, or to help themselves uh, simplify a repetitive task. So, for example, if you have a regular task of checking your email and then approving something, then this is not this is or maybe just let's take a very simple example. If you are using chat gpt to rewrite your email by correcting the spelling mistakes and grammar, then you are the user of AI. If you are using nano banana to create some images, then you are the user of AI. If you are using, let's say, a VO3 to create some videos, then you are the user of AI. Now remember one thing, industry is not hiring for the users. Users of AI is not a skill. Being a user of AI, you are not gaining any kind of skill. Being a user of AI is the necessity of the hour. So I hope you guys will acknowledge that if I go back in 2015 or even before that, 2010, companies or the employers, they were assuming that you know computer, right? So use of computer was a default skill, was a default skill. No one was asking you, or no one was mentioning in their job description that we require a person who knows how to use a computer, because knowing how to use a computer was a default skill. No one was looking explicitly mentioning that in their job description. Similarly, using AI is a default skill. It will become a default skill, like a default skill nowadays. Default skill. And this is something which all of you need to know. And if you want to become the user of AI, the only thing that you need to learn is how to write an efficient prompt. How to write a efficient prompt, and which is basically known as the prompt engineering. So this is basically a default skill which all of you need to be aware about. No one will ask you, or no one will explicitly mention that I need a person who knows how to write a prompt. Writing a good prompt is a necessity now. If I look at this another section, which is the developer section, these are people who are creating solutions on top of AI. So these are people who are creating solution using the power of AI. For example, I want to create a agentic system which can automatically book flight for me, and I want to deploy it on my website. So let's say I have a website, booking.com, and in this website, booking.com, if I go and I use the chatbot, now this chatbot is that powerful agentic system where I just simply write my query that book me a flight from Delhi to Bangalore, which is cheapest. Now, this particular chatbot is enabled by the agentic AI system, which basically means it will be able to take care of everything and yet will be able to carry out your task. Now, who is going to create this? Who is going to create such systems? Who is going to create such system for booking.com? That is where these people comes into picture, the AI developers. Now, you can become an AI developer either by coding or by no coding. So there are multiple no coding platforms also available where you do not need to code, but you need to just connect. So platforms such as N810, Make.com, Zapier, all these platforms provides you with the capability to create agentic AI systems or multi-agent systems without coding. But there are job requirements majorly available in this section, which is developing AI solutions using coding. And for this, you need to be aware about a lot of things. First of all, you need to be aware about a little bit the background of LLMs, how LLMs are trained, a little bit background about machine learning, basically how a machine was able to learn all this, a detailed background about Python. So I would say Python intermediate, the frameworks which are running on top of Python, which is LangChain and LangGraph. So these are the frameworks using which I can create such AI systems. And definitely, plus the prompt engineering. We cannot avoid this. So this is basically what we at Coding Ninjas are trying to help the people with. If you are someone who is already in this particular sector, where you are a existing software developers or existing technical person, and you want to get into this AI domain, then this is basically the section where the major requirement is coming up from the industry. They are looking for developers who can create systems, the AI systems, using the existing platform that they have. So someone has the existing website, someone has the existing mobile software, mobile application, and they want to implement AI on top of it. So that is where the job requirement is, and that is where Coding Ninjas job ready bootcamp and coding ninjas generative AI bootcamp is going to help you. So that is all about from my side, guys. I hope